So this was from much early on in the tournament, maybe the round of 16 or so. Let's kick this off and see what happened. Honestly, so impressed by his PvP. I'm just interested to see what he was up to and how else he used it today. As we have to the top right hand side, our red Protoss player, this from Cypher Esports, is Zest. Bottom left hand side, our blue Protoss is Dia. Woody, what is your favorite StarCraft race, and is there any race that's currently OP? Terran is my favorite one to play. I think it's the most fun. And it's the most fun to watch a lot of the time, I think, too. And is there any race currently OP? No. Because nothing's OP. I mean, it's impossible to say. The balance patch is so new. People are going to take a little while to figure things out and stuff like that, so... yeah. Gateway dropping down. A couple of gateways dropping down as the simulator is coming up on each side of the map. We're going to be heading across here from Dia. Heading out into the center. And also a probe from Zest. Coming up through the top side as well. So that's coming along right now. See the Cybernetics core coming in on each side of the map. And again, just a probe coming up on each way as well. So obviously nothing too crazy. 2 gates apiece. It's more regular PvP. I mean, we see it pretty much all PvPs, but you know, parting through a bit of a curveball on stasis. So I'm just saying, you know, it does happen where there's not 2 gates apiece sometimes. As we do see the probe having a little bit of a nibble, going up against each other. Again, Zest just trying to get rid of Dia. And at the same time, Zest did not actually go across the map. He has this probe on the top side, but is not over in the main base. So interesting that he decides not to scout here, at least not just yet. Maybe brings that probe in later, but wait too much longer and there's going to be a Stalker and a Sentry on the map, and then things obviously get a little bit complex. Probe currently being chased around. Dia is trying to run away. Run, Dia, run! This little probe is not having a very good time. He's in a lot of trouble. But will be caught by the Sentry, and the Sentry will get the kill. So Sentry taking that down. Finally, Dia's probe taken out. Both players actually going mirrored with each other at the moment in terms of their unit production. 2 Stalkers to follow up Stalker Sentry. Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate here from Zest. From Dia, he's not Chrono Boosting that Warp Gate, but he was a little bit further ahead anyways, so it might just be that this Chrono Boost was a little bit later to come down. I mean, it's 69 to 69, so it actually looks as though it's been exactly the same, just Chrono Boost used at slightly different times so far. As the next Chrono Boost coming down, I imagine Zest is there to be used as well if you'd like it to. Maybe waiting for this Hallucinated Phoenix to see what's going on before he chooses where to put his Chrono Boost. Dia also, Hallucinated Phoenix just makes it into the main base for the scout. Both players expanding though, and there's the Stalkers to get that kill. So far so good, as we do see a pylon and a probe to the right side. Just going to be seeing the probe going down, the pylon under attack as well. So this is actually quite nice, shutting down a potential attack of Dia in the early stages already. Dia is moving through the center of the map and now hitting the supply block, and well, Zest kind of feels like should be okay without any reinforcements being able to warp in on the Zest side of the map. Dia shouldn't be able to get too much done. Again, those Stalkers pushing the Stalkers of Dia back just a little bit. Couple of Adepts on the way up. I'm going to finish warping in right now as we see the probe moving around into the main, and those couple of Adepts still going hunting. Looking to pick up that kill. Robot Facility comes down in the main base. So a choice here from Dia to continue teching up. That's already made that choice a while ago, so his robot was so much faster. He will also lose his proxy pylon now, but all of a sudden, units are out of position. These Adepts, well, they're going to be obviously dealing a little bit of damage. Force field on the ramp by Zest, so he'll buy some time. And that's really cute as he killed off the pylon, so it shuts down warp-ins for a while. Now just kiting away, he'll get as many probes as he can. One thing Zest has to be careful of is he doesn't have a lot of army supply at the moment. The last thing he wants to do is to let himself lose this game because he's just being a little bit overeager. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough stalkers to actually kill a probe any longer, so... Man, while Zest did a lot of worker damage, we kind of saw this in one of the earlier Zest matches as well. While Zest does a lot of damage, he falls down quite a lot in army supply. He's now down by 18 army supply, and Dia, realizing this, is immediately moving across the map. An Immortal on the way from Zest and 2 shield batteries to try and help him survive at the moment. Let's see if Dia really is going to be able to get much done as this counter-attack moves over to the right-hand side. Zest really doesn't have much. 2 sentries and Immortal. The force fields are going to have to be pristine as we see 2 more sentries warped in. Depths going up in towards the main base. There's nothing Zest can do to stop that at the moment. The force fields actually block these units in. Confident the Immortal will be kept alive by the shield battery, at least for a good amount of time. Force field's going to keep it alive as well. Zest might just be one of the best Protoss players I've ever seen. Like, this is crazy. Fantastic stuff to keep that Immortal alive, and that's so critical at this stage of the game. The Adepts got dealt with too. Now another Immortal comes down to help out with the defense with 2 Immortals. Well, one of them goes down, but the damage output was already there. The Stalkers have just kept on dropping. And Warp Prism here as well, as, I mean, Dia's going to keep this up. Probes will have to be pulled in once again. Zest still has a lack of army supply, but even just holding on up until now has been absolutely incredible. You see 2 more Stalkers warping in and just going to continue fighting this here. Just going to see those Adepts are going to get pushed back. A Warp Prism loading up as well. And we do just see the Immortal from Dia. There's another one just about to pop out in the next few moments. Adepts in the main base, shading through. I mean, Zest is now the one down 8 workers, so down 8 workers. He's just been Warp Prism, Micro, and some probes. Warps in a couple more units as these Adepts are still causing chaos. And Dia, well, now Dia, it's his chance just to try and hold on. There is a Warp Prism, there's an Immortal. That's the advantage at the moment from Zest if he goes across the map. He's even bringing 2 probes. Not sure that's what he's meant to do. Zest is going to go across the map and counter. How is he holding? I mean, just a combination of great control and clutch warpings. I mean, pretty much everything Zest did was essential to surviving. Oh, he finds the Warp Prism with some units in it as well. I mean, that's not just big for the units inside, but it's also big for the fact the Warp Prism is a huge tool in these attacks and the defense to micro your units as well. This could be big, as we see Zest pushing in before there's actually much ready to go. A second Immortal is set to go from Dia, though, but the first one already taking so much damage. The shield batteries are not currently ready to go. Now they are finished. Now they will take part in this fight. Micro backwards via the Warp Prism from Zest. So far, so good. Minimizing losses. A lot of probes going down. The work counts beginning to even out once again. 4 more Adepts will warp in. There is 4 gateways here from Dia as well, so he does have similar production. Keeping his Immortals behind those shield batteries. Here we go. A couple Stalkers in the front. Already being picked away. I just don't know if there's enough to keep these Immortals alive. The first Immortal just disappears. Pretty much just instantly deleted. And the shield batteries that are close to the Immortal over here are out of energy. So no healing going on. And as Zest warps in more units, he's actually going to counter break Dia. Wow. That was crazy. From one side of the map to the other side of the map and to the other side of the map again. Jump into game number 2. It's just a best of 3 here. Up a game to the bottom right hand side. Our red Protoss player is Zest. Some would say he is the best. This is the top left hand side, the blue Protoss. Give it up if you're cheering on Dia. Alright. Dan, how's everyone feeling out in the chat today? Everyone doing good? Everyone having a good time? What's up, Margaret Fisher 96? Saying hello in the chat. How you doing? What's up, Jimmy789? Welcome as well. You guys are doing well. Good to have you. Couple of gates coming up on either side of the map at the moment as we get this set up and rolling. Probe coming down to the bottom right hand side, and just going to be seeing some scouting information in these early stages. Zest not going to scout just yet. Okay, now he does start to send that across the map. What's up, Diamond Cat? How you doing? exclaiming Wardy in the chat. Hello. Cybercore going to be finishing from both players here in just a few, as Probe just chilling out behind the mineral line, taking a couple of shots from another probe here, so a little bit of probe on probe. Probe of Deer is taking a real beating here, as we do see the other probe coming in, and again a pretty decent job of this so far. The probe chased away to the corner, and Zest does get the kill. Sentry coming up on either side. And Stargate dropping down from Zest in the main base. It's going to turn into Stargate on Stargate. Well, we've seen a little bit of this today already from Zest as well. But man, Zest looked so good in the Stargate versus Stargate situations. He just did all of these little things to get ahead and to take the little advantages that could help him out here. Stalker coming around to the top side as you see the Nexus from both. Some mirrored build orders. We'll see if one player decides to go Phoenix and if one goes Oracle. Oracle's the big thing, because if one goes Oracle and the other goes Phoenix, the Oracle player really will be behind. Because obviously the Phoenix generally will just be able to defend. I mean, it's possible to get damage with the Oracle, but it's definitely much easier to defend. Oh, Zest goes Oracle. What does Deer do? Deer could also go Oracle. It's a possibility. He goes Phoenix even before the hallucination gets across the map. Man, cancels, Zest cancels because he already has his hallucination over here. Sees the star, goes, he cancels the Oracle. Turns out his Phoenix is actually only a few seconds behind now. Not much loss then from Zest in this. As we do head toward Phoenix versus Phoenix play in this PvP. Game number 2. Zest is just so fast to drop the second Stargate. Happened in the earlier matchup as well. Straight into Stargate number 2. Doesn't waste any time at all with it. And it helped him to just get a few Phoenix ahead. So, getting set up into this right now. Do you see those couple of assimilators going to be finishing up on the natural expansion? 2 Stalkers into Sentry, gathering up on the front of the natural as well. Second Stargate going to be finishing in the main base of Deer, and again those 2 Phoenix just going to be moving backwards and forwards just a little bit. Try and wait around for the moment. Not really much reason to take them across the map. Keep them near your Stargates in case your opponent attacks. Then you're near your reinforcements and they can jump into the fight right away. Just no reason for them to be anywhere else other than over here at the moment. Five minutes in, and obviously with Phoenix versus Phoenix, it can turn into quite a passive game for a while. Especially if you both players just scout and see it's still just Phoenix production on either side. There's not really much reason to change up anything. Hallucinations are still important. It still is nice to be able to set up into a position where you're going to more or less kind of stop the some crazy stuff from happening. Fleet Beacon dropping down here from Zest in the main base, and there is a Fleet Beacon on the way up in the main. It's going to be real interesting to see what that turns into, right? Whether that's going to become... No, it's just going to be becoming... I mean, I know what it's going to become. It's going to become Alien Pulse Crystals. You know what? Zest might just take a lead off of that because it's so much faster than the Fleet Beacon of Deer. There's going to be a time in this game where Zest has Alien Pulse Crystals and Deer doesn't. And if Deer is not able to get in range of his opponent's Phoenix, Deer will start to be in so much trouble there. It's going to be so difficult for him to make this work. Drops the Fleet Beacon of his own, but it's about a minute behind that of Zest, so there is going to be that slight window where Zest can maybe get a couple of kills, get a bit of an advantage, maybe start to snowball this Phoenix on Phoenix play. Zest is ready to throw down his own third Nexus here, over to the top side. So again, that's started. We'll see a little bit later than the third Nexus of Deer. That's the difference. He goes Onion Pulse Crystals faster, but he goes into the Nexus a little later. Hallucinated Phoenix is going to see the Phoenix of Zest coming across the map. Zest is leading with a hallucination as well. 12 on 12 Phoenix. The hallucination takes a couple shots to begin with. Zest trying to stay out of range of the Phoenix there while using Onion Pulse Crystals, and there it is. He gets some shots off, but now the Phoenix are in range. Zest will still get a couple of extra shots overall, but with a few Stalkers underneath, that extra little bit of defense will keep Dia alive until Anti-Impulse Crystals kicks in. And now Zest goes into 2 more Stargates again, though. Zest just seems to be so much faster. Continue to set up. 2 more Stargates, kind of feels like it's slowing down his Phoenix production for a moment there. Feels like he can't quite afford to keep up with it. But I mean, if he gets these up and then he does get into 4th Stargate Phoenix production, against still currently just 2, he will be taking a lead. Phoenix sat over to the right side. As you see, the 4th Stargate finishing up right now. Bunch of Phoenix on the way out. Stargate coming in on the 3rd base, or on the maybe as of Diaz, the 3rd Stargate, but now he can only still make 2 Phoenix, while Zest is making 4 at a time at points. That's going to give Zest a real Phoenix advantage. And I wonder if that's just going to give Zest maybe kind of the tipping edge as he goes into a fight. 4th base coming down from Zest as well, so while he was a bit slow on the 3rd, he is faster on the 4th. Little bits and pieces, little bits of back and forth. Zest has seen these couple of pylons getting set up and sends just a couple of ground units to go and deal with them. Confident that his Phoenix in the skies will be enough to hold on if anything comes over to harass or attack them. Phoenix gathering up on the natural, sending a couple of Stalkers working their way through this pylon. More Phoenix on the way up. To get this going. Zest trying to stack his Phoenix to hide the numbers here. Keeping them stacked up, and oh, gets the first good volley. I like this from Zest already. Coming in, there's a Guardian Shield in play. Phoenix on Phoenix is still going Zest's favor, though. As the volley comes in on either side. Zest has a Reinforcing Phoenix picked off. 2 Reinforcing Phoenix picked off. That's big from Dia here, but I mean, is it enough still? It's now 12 to 8 Phoenix. Stays at 12 to 8, 13 to 8 after the fight. And again, remember, Zest is still able to make 1 more Phoenix at a time than Dia is, with the 4 Stargates against the 3 at the moment. I feel like Zest is coming out with just slight advantages in these fights. You can see that Dia was somewhat interested in just kind of getting away from that as well, though. Phoenix gathering up just on top of the 4th base at the moment. Again, more Phoenix coming in. A 4th Stargate drops down from Dia as well in the main. Phoenix stacking up just a little bit. A couple extra Zealots warping in too. And it's going to push forwards and right away head towards this pylon. Still feels Zest knows that he's kind of got the advantage here. Knows that he's kind of up a Stargate. It has been for a while. This Phoenix definitely in his favor. There's 1 flyer attack on the way from Dia. Also going into a forge, maybe for some shield upgrades. Maybe add on some static defense cannons. Dia's 4th to the bottom side. This found here, going to force some units over in towards position, and Phoenix are stacking up already from Zest. He's going to keep them very well stacked, and well, the Phoenix will continue to just fight against each other. And I mean, Zest is very confident. He jumps way forwards there. He's going to get right on top of this, and it looks as though Zest definitely still does have the numbers. He has 18 to 3, 4, 3 again. And still dropping down. Zest closes it out with the Phoenix. And that is going to be GG.